What if one day your house was not your house anymore? Your streets disappeared, your neighbor was shot, and suddenly a new country appeared in your place. This is not any fantasy, this has happened in 1948. Palestinians call it Nakba, Arabic word for the catastrophe. And for them, it was exactly that, a national disaster. In 1948, when the State of Israel was created, over 750,000 Palestinians were forced out of their homes. More than 500 villages were destroyed. People who had lived there for centuries became refugees overnight. Zionist militias like Haganah, Irgun, and Lehi led attacks on the Palestinian towns. They were not any defending, they were cleansing, and cleansing violently. And this was not any accident, it was a plan. Israeli historian Ilian Pape once wrote, "The ethnic cleansing of Palestinians was a calculated strategy." It was a calculated strategy to force Palestinians to flee, and terror was used as a weapon. In Deir Yassin in April 1948, over 100 villagers were murdered. Among them were women and children and men. They were shot irrespective of their age. Their bodies were dragged through the streets. Even the Albert Einstein, a Jew himself, condemned this attack and wrote, "They are terrorists, not the defenders of Israel." In Tantura, over 200 Palestinians were executed. In Laida, hundreds were killed and tens of thousands were forced to walk for miles without water. In a desert, many of them died on the way. So this was not any war between two armies. It was just a one-sided purge. Palestinian families thought they would come back in a week. They locked their doors, took their keys, carried only some of food and clothes. But they were never allowed to return. The Zionist plan was clear. The old will die and the young will forget. That was what David Ben-Gurion, Israeli first prime minister, said. But you know what? He was wrong. Palestinians remembered everything, the keys, the trees, and the streets. The wound was never closed. Where was the world during all this? The world was silent. The world was complicit. The United Nations has voted to divide Palestinians without asking them. The British who ruled Palestine before 1948 simply left. The US and USSR quickly recognized Israel, no matter how it was created. And the Arab countries were divided. They were weak and eventually they lost the war. While Western media celebrated the birth of Israel, they didn't show the burning homes, the dead children, and the people walking barefoot into exile. Today, those refugees and their children are still waiting. In Gaza, in West Bank, in Lebanon, in Jordan, in Syria, living in crowded camps, without no lights, without no home, just in tents. Israel refuses, so let them return. They say it would destroy the Jewish character of the state, the colonial character of the state. So instead they live in limbo, some for 4 generations. No other group of people has lived long this in exile. And yet they never gave up on the right to return. Ask any Palestinian child in a camp. They will tell you the name of their village, even if it doesn't exist anymore. Some people say it is history, why to talk about it now? But the Nakba, it never ended. The same ethnic cleansing continues, but just slower. In the West Bank, Palestinians are pushed out by the settlers. In Gaza, they are bombed every few years. In Jerusalem, their homes are taken, one court order at a time. And inside Israel, Palestinians still face the discrimination every day. This is not any ancient history, this is happening right now. After the Nakba, Palestinians didn't just disappear. They started to resist. The PLO was formed, the Intifada came later, but the drama of 1948 shaped everything. It created the Palestinian identity, one of the pain, loss, and the resistance. The old man in Lebanon once said, "They took our homes, but not our memories, not our dignity, we are still here." The world celebrates Israel's independence, but for Palestinians it was a day of destruction. One people's freedom was built on another's grave. This is Nakba, and it was just a beginning. In part 3, we will show how the occupation got worse, how Israel took even more land in 1967 war, and how the world kept looking away. This is 70 years of humiliation and resistance, and the truth is so it is just getting louder. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe, share, and like the video. Thanks for watching.